What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Spectators 176 to be exact. My name is Julian. I'm here with Brooklyn to my right.
Yo, yo, yo.
What's poppin', brother?
It's going good, bro. Just chilling. We got some spring training games going on. I've been
Mm-hmm.
loving
Mm-hmm.
seeing all the highlights of that because we not sitting down watching spring training.
No,
So
not full games. Although I
no.
may or may not have had a quad screen up of MLB yesterday before I went to work. That did happen.
We were watching some of the games. We did see the Jason Dominguez home run the other day
Yeah,
for the Yankees. That was sick.
it was sick.
So we've been catching them where we could. And it's been fun. Baseball's coming back around. We're right around the corner. And
Dude,
I'm hyped. I'm
yeah,
hyped. I don't know about you. I'm hyped.
we're about a month away, and we got to get our spring training games out there, but that's just how that goes. There's apparently money lines on spring training games. That makes you feel
Ridiculous.
better. There are betting options to get your fix in. That is a thing you can do. Disgusting, but it's
If you're betting on preseason,
you have an issue.
Lord help you.
I wish I had like a Prize Picks promo code or like DraftKings, but those we don't have one. Otherwise, I would be giving it to you, Mister Spring
Sponsor
Training
us.
Better, Mister Spring
Sponsor.
Training Better Gambler. Come on, bro. Dude,
Price picks. Give us a code. Give us a code.
MLB being back is amazing, and there are a couple of new rules coming into this year, and I know you have them pulled up. So what you got for me? Tell them, let them
There,
know.
there is some new rules, and before we get into the rules, there's just one thing I'm really excited for, and that's every team playing every single team. I'm so excited for that. Like that's one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to for this year. Being able to just have some random matchups that we don't usually get. I'm super excited for that. Super excited for that.
Yeah,
But in terms of rules, we'll start with the pitch clock because that's been really controversial as of lately. Everybody's like, "Oh, you're killing the game. You're catering to people who don't watch the game." It's like, okay, relax. Let's try to spice things up. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. Who's to say? But for the pitch clock, we start out with 15 seconds. The pitcher, from the time they get the ball, they got 15 seconds to start their motion to get the pitch out. That's with nobody on base. You have runners on, you get 20 seconds. Cool. The hitters get one timeout per plate appearance. So no more stepping out of the box every single time, undoing your gloves, making sure you look pretty. None of that. Just stay in there, be ready. Pitchers get two disengagements per batter, which means you can either pick off or step off. You only get two. If you do more than that, it's a violation and it's a balk. We don't want that. So, as of right now, the games have been moving pretty speedy across the board. There's been games finishing in like 2.5 hours.
there was one that was like 217.
Yeah.
Like they're zipping, and it is spring training, obviously, so it's not 1-to-1 exactly, right? But
Yeah.
I do want to say shout out Manny Machado, the first ever victim of the pitch clock strike rule. He didn't get in. He got a strike call. He was the first ever. 24 hours later, he gets an 11-year, $350 million bag as a compensation for that. So shout out to that
Pretty cool.
extension. That is insane. His deal total wound up being over $500 million in his time as a Padre. He'll be a Padre till he's 40, unless he gets traded. I don't think he will. So much money. It's so much money.
It's a lot of money. I want to say he won't, but that's a lot of money.
That's so much money.
But then we look on the bad side of it. We had a game end. There's two outs, bases loaded. It was the Red Sox and who
Braves.
do you know? Red
Braves.
Sox and Braves. And the game ends because the batter was in the box with 8 seconds left, but he was not alert and ready according to the umpire. And that's where I really don't like the rule because now we're making it an inconsistent judgment call based on what the umpire thinks is ready for the batter. And I don't like that. I don't know where your head's at with it, but I'm not a fan of that right there.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the box, then like whatever result happens as a batter should be what it happens when the pitch comes. I mean, as long
Yeah.
as you're in the box and all parts of you are in that are like legally supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
If you're, but then there's also like, what if you never step out of the box and now you're adjusting your batting gloves in there? And I think that's probably why they have that, is so that if you want to do all the extra stuff, but you're like, oh, well, look, I'm in the box. I'm in the box. It's like, you know, when you're like a little kid and you're like, look, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not
No,
touching you. And they're like
I'm doing
beating
what you're
you with a
telling me.
shovel, dude. Like, you're touching me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, so that's probably why that is in effect, I'd imagine. It's a
But
tough
at
way
the
to end
same
that game
time,
because it was a tie. And I was like, man, what is going on in baseball over there?
that's the
The
thing.
optics were so bad.
Ending a game like that is not a good look. And like I know the saying, just be ready.
Don't.
Be ready, get in the box.
You know how I
I
feel
get
about
that.
rules that end the games. You know how I feel. Don't change them now.
Like I
I would
get
like if there was a literal last strike of the game for the pitch clock to go away because it's the last strike of the game. Sure, like let everybody kind of take a breath, but also like why let that one pitch or one batter have or
well the
one,
thing
you
is,
know,
like,
why have that?
if you do that, then you gotta do it also on like the last ball of the game in theory, because now you're just giving the
Yeah, that's what I'm
it
saying. Like if
being
like
being
exactly
once.
that situation, like a 3-2 count. But yeah, I don't know. That's why you don't do it because there's like, oh well, do you do it every time?
And
There's
now
two
you got to
strikes,
do
or
it
is
on
that
a
just three?
now you got to
No,
do it on a 3-1 count. You got to do it on
no. We're not
a
doing that. We're
1-2
not doing
count,
that.
and
No,
it's weird. It's weird.
we're
I
not
don't
doing
like
that.
it.
I don't either. But hey, I mean, I'm here to make the games go a little bit quicker. It seems like it's going to. I do think it's going to take adjusting out of the pitchers and the hit. Mostly the pitchers.
Both sides.
The hitters will kind of get into it pretty quickly because they're getting more reps more frequently. I
Yeah.
think the pitchers, it's going to take a little bit of a toll on. You're going to see guys, and one of the problems, quote unquote problems, with Major League Baseball right now is that pitchers don't go long into games. This will make them go even less long into games because they're having less
Yeah.
rest time. They're moving in this strenuous movements that they do as pitchers more frequently in quicker successions. That might cause more injuries or it might cause more strain on bodies that aren't used to it. So if you have a guy like I've been saying it for a while, Garrett Cole, he might be a guy who struggles to kind of adjust. Look at Luis Garcia over in Houston, who used to take the entire pitch clock to pitch the ball once he started his delivery because he would rock the baby, take a step back. Like, he has to find a new windup, legitimately.
I saw side by side today, and literally had the wind up doing his thing. He was rocking the baby, and then they started his new one right when he released it, and it looks smooth. It looks like he's solid.
Yeah,
But I mean, then again, it really all depends how it's going to translate to location
I don't think it was ever
and
an issue.
all
He could
that.
pitch out of the stretch. He just did it out of superstition at this point. So,
And you know how baseball players are.
this is kind of a cool thing because it's gonna kill a lot of superstitions like that. You can't rock the baby. You're not gonna step out after every pitch, adjust your gloves, fix your cup, spit, call your wife, tell you hate her. You're not gonna do all that because you can't. You don't have time. You have 8 seconds. Get in that box, big fella.
Yeah,
So it's kind of cool.
absolutely.
There's a clip that I saw today of Joey Votto a couple years ago when he was much younger. He had no wrinkles. He looked very handsome. Um,
A long
it
time ago.
long time ago, and there was an at bat where he stayed in the at bat, and every pitch he took, he just like shook and then stayed. His feet never moved. He stayed in the box, and the second that the
Hmm.
catcher threw that ball back, he was ready. I was like, that's so funny. He was ready for this moment. If only he knew he wouldn't be as good.
It's funny because Giancarlo Stanton does that
Stan does
too.
that
Like
too, yeah.
there's so many times where a pitch would be thrown and G's just still in the box
Yeah.
waiting.
He'll like
And it's
stand
just
up a
like
little bit more and then just
he might give a little bat swing, come right back and just
yeah.
sit and wait.
Yeah.
So it's going to be easier for some guys. A lot of guys is going to be hard.
Yeah,
But
and then I do want to
I'm here
touch.
for it.
I do want to talk real quick about the step offs that you said with the pitcher, the disengagements. That is going to really help stealing bases, right? So if you're a
Yeah.
pitcher and you disengage on a 1-2 count or on a 1-0 count because you didn't see the pitch or you didn't like the pitch or you needed more time, you have to scratch your neck, whatever it is. Now you only have one disengagement to try and keep this runner honest. Now you do it, you pick him off, you don't get him. That runner can take 4 steps and gone. Like there is
Yeah.
nothing that can stop that runner from taking the max amount of steps and leaving. Free base.
Yeah.
That
And
cool?
there's so many times where the first base coach is literally timing the pitcher to see, okay, how many seconds he's taking for his wind up and delivery and stuff. Now with the pitch clock, that's going to be a lot easier for them to just really hone in on and say, okay, this guy is constantly throwing the ball at like 6 seconds. You see that get to 6 seconds, take off.
Yeah,
Go.
because you can't get to 9 seconds. You don't have that time.
No.
So
Yeah. Just go.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for stolen bases to be back.
yeah,
Like
stolen
that's going to
ba-
be electric.
and they're like actually gonna be back too. Also, one thing, another residual of this, you're probably gonna see more teams using the pitch comm system. So catchers,
Yeah.
the era of catchers throwing down fingers is probably over. Because the time you get that ball, you have those 15 seconds. You're not gonna lean in and then get up and pick your pitch. You don't have the time for that. So they're gonna pitch calm. You'll shake your head while you're just like walking back to the mound, and that's
Yeah.
just, it'll be more effective or more efficient. And I don't know.
And another rule that also kind of goes hand in hand with stolen bases is the bigger bases.
Yeah.
We move from 15-inch bags to 18 inches, and the point of it is to be there for player safety. You're
Yeah.
not stepping on people's ankles anymore, and you just got more room to really go cover the bag, especially for like pitchers where they're just running downhill at a 45-degree angle with people. Like they got to stop on the dime to get there.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's for, but at the same time, shorter distance between the bags. Now, between first and second and third, it's reduced by 4.5 inches.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's
And
too
then,
much
and
even.
then, and then 3 inches from home to first and third to home. So
It's too much even.
that's a lot. So
Yeah.
so now obviously shorter distance, shorter travel time for these fast baseball players. Trey Turner's getting down that line fast.
Yeah.
So
Also,
you better be ready.
Also, the base being bigger is just more of a surface area to defend as well. So like there's
Yeah.
more
Yeah, it
room
goes
to
both
get
ways.
a backdoor slide and all that. So stealing
Yeah.
is just gonna be boosted in general. Like they kind of, if this is like a video game patch, just like this is the stealing patch currently. Like we are
Yeah, and
in,
I feel like it's going to be OP. I
it might
feel
be.
like
It really might.
we're really going to have this as a big part of the game now. A lot of teams have gone away from it over the last like,
Not the Yankees.
would you say like 10 years?
20 years, dude.
20?
Nobody's stolen ever since Barry Bonds stopped stealing.
Yeah.
Once
So
he stopped stealing, people stopped stealing. That's just how that went. I mean, obviously there was still some, but like that died once Barry Bonds like was like, "Hey, man, watch me hit 700 home runs instead." It's
Yeah.
way less work.
So having that being a big part of the game now is really sick. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, and that'll be really good. Again, baseball is just fun to have. The best thing about baseball is that there's games from 1 o'clock to 10 o'clock constantly, and so there's always
Yeah.
going to be a sport on now, especially once summer kicks in and the dog days are here and all that. So
Man.
I'm super excited, and it's just something while we wait for the best part of the NBA season, right? And that is
Absolutely.
fully in effect right now because we have seen some really, really good games this week. The second highest scoring game of all time happened on Friday. I think it was Friday or Saturday, or I don't know. It was sometime early this weekend. The Kings and the Clippers go to OT 175 to 174. De'Aaron Fox has 40 something. Malik Monk has 40 something. Kawhi Leonard has 40 something. Paul George has 30 something.
Like
What
that
in the
meme.
world are we talking about? 150
Yeah.
points between those three? Or four? Jeez.
It's sick.
Yeah, and the Kings get a big win because the Kings are actually proving that they're a team that is like competent and they're like playing winning basketball. It's kind of impressive. Pretty fun.
Absolutely.
And they beat a good Clippers team and was it Russ's debut?
I believe so. I'm
Yeah.
not 100%, but I believe so.
I think that was Russ's debut. He had a decent game. And then like dude, the Clippers come back and 2 nights later have another OT game. They have to play the Kings and then the Nuggets in back-to-back games, which is tough because they're both the
Insane.
1 and the 3 seed. They go to OT again. Kawhi Leonard's gonna overheat. The most injured man in America is short circuiting at this point. He's never played this many minutes in his life, and they lose both of these games too. And I don't know, man. The Nuggets look like impressively good. I wish they had a better defensive unit, but like you've seen it. Like we watched it in that
43 and
OT.
19,
We
bro.
watched it in
That
that
OT was
OT.
wild.
Jokic was just like, all right, well, I guess I'm just gonna go win this game.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay. And I don't know, man. Like seeing them be a 1 seed and they're like a half a game or two games or something like that in the loss column back of the Celtics for the best record in the league. It's like, bro, what are we doing?
Yeah, too. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I love that the West is like looking spicy in terms of the teams we got there. Like you got Nuggets, Grizzly 1-2, and then Kings. Suns have been there a little bit. Clippers 5, and then like Dallas, Golden State, Utah. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, and I
It's
mean,
really sick to, especially the Kings, out of everybody.
well, if you
Seeing the
look at
Kings up
it,
there is sick.
the 4 through the 12 seed, 13 seed, the
Hmm.
4 through the 13 seed is like a 5 game discrepancy. If if the
Yeah.
Thunder went on a 5 game win streak and the Suns went on a 5 game losing streak, they'd have the same record. And that's a lot.
Yeah.
Those things aren't going to happen, but like that's the 4
Uh-huh.
seed compared to the 12. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
variation going on over there in the West. I know that the Timberwolves have been playing weird basketball lately, so maybe they wind up falling out. Maybe the Lakers slide in. I don't really know what's going on over there, man.
Yeah.
The Jazz have been playing well because like Laurie's balling this year.
Shout out Lori.
I guess. Like the Jazz are trying to tank, and they're 2 games back of the Clippers, who like just picked up Russ off of them because they want to contend. But there's a 2 game difference between those teams, so it's like maybe the Jazz should have just kept them, bro. I don't know. Make a run. I don't know. Try.
NBA is weird sometimes, bro.
It's so weird sometimes.
Especially when we get 270-point games in one season.
In 1 season. And Dame last night was on one. That boy popped his Senzu bean and went Super Saiyan real fast because the Blazers have not been doing great this year. It's been a weird year. They started out super hot. They've had a bunch of streaks. They lost like 5 in a row at one point. Wasn't feeling good. I'm pretty sure like this win might be something that propels them because they didn't have Anthony Simons playing. He did not play in this game. And then Dame going for 71. Just the problem is when you have a guy scoring 71 and it took you to the fourth quarter to really like, all right, this game's over. That's a problem. Like you got to have 71 and beat the brakes off this team. Especially the Rockets. The Rockets are Charlotte Bobcat level bad. 2012 Charlotte Bobcats. They are one Sengun hamstring pull away from being Charlotte Hornets or Charlotte Bobcats bad.
Bobcats. It's not talked about how bad of a team name.
Well, the team name, whatever. The team name in a company with the actual worst North American sports team probably of all time. And that includes literal winless teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
Teams that literally didn't win a game. That Charlotte Bobcats team was still worse because, oh my God. They were giving up 50 a night to somebody. 50 a night to somebody. The last time a New York Knick had 50 or more points was Melo that season. He had 62.
Yeah, probably against the
You,
Bobcats.
you like that nugget out of nowhere? I don't know why I remember that. It's the last time a Knicks had 50. Shout out to the Bobcats. That's going to be the Rockets right now. The Blazers aren't going to have a guy score 60 after Dame for like 2 decades. They'll be like, hey, when's the last time we had a guy score more than 60? Yeah. The 2022-23 Rockets. Boy, were they bad.
The crazy part about Dame, he's on a tear right now. And let me
Yeah.
see if I could pull this up real quick for his last 12 games. I saw it before we went live. Oh, right here. So his last 12 started from the bottom. 60 points, 30 points, 42, 42, 29, 40, 28, 33, 38, 40, 39, 71. So in 12 games, he did 60 and 71.
It's pretty impressive.
Dog.
It's pretty impressive.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's pretty impressive.
So
He leads the league in points scored.
that checks out.
Yeah. He leads the league in points scored. I'm pretty sure he leads the league in points scored, but like a margin too. Like it's like kind of significant.
Let me Tatum's leading the league in total points.
Is there?
Yeah, it's Tatum, Luka, and Shai.
Oh.
And so he's not even in the top 3. Where does he fall? That's
Where does he
that's a
fall?
nice question. He's 7.
He's 7. Okay.
Yeah, he got 1500. The top is 1734.
17. Oh my god.
Yeah, so he's not leading, but
1734 needs to chill out. That's a little. Laurie Markkinen at 11. Hey, Jalen Brunson at 16. Put some respect.
hey.
Some respect. Also, look at number 4.
Yeah. That boy Ant. That boy Ant.
That's pretty cool. We got 2 super young guards at 3 and 4 in terms of points scored. Now they're not on good teams. They're just scoring. They're not on good teams.
And I mean, hey, that's great though. That's great because as a young player, you don't want to be playing bad just because you're on a bad team.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead, show out, build that capital for yourself. Get on a good market. I love it.
Yeah, and Anthony's also been better this year. He's gotten a lot better defensively, and yeah, he's like growing as a player, which is cool. He's still super young. Like,
he's growing.
It's how that goes. It took Tatum like a couple of years to become like a actual superstar. Obviously, he's there now.
That's why I always say give these players time to develop. Stop calling them busts after
we're not giving
2 years.
Jaleel Okafor time to develop, bro. It's over.
Well, no, that
it's over.
I don't know where you pulled that name out of. that boy
I'm talking
cooked.
number 3 overall pick. He's cooked.
How long has he been around?
7 years. You got
okay. Well, that's
20,
different. I
2015.
said don't call them bust after 2 years. 7, he's a bust.
He's a bust.
I don't make the rules. Look, you got 4 years out of me. You got 4 years. You got 4.
You got half a decade to get good.
You got 4 years. Look, I'm not saying
go shoot the
I'm
gym,
not saying
bro. Half a
scrub
decade?
to. I'm not saying scrub. There needs to be progression.
There
needs to be progression.
But
I'm not asking you to be an all-star by year 2. You got 4 years to really like take that next step. Keep progressing every year, and then by year 5, I need you to be solidified in the league.
You know what we need to do? I saw one of the worst tweets I've ever seen. And it wasn't in that they said anything wrong, but it was about the implication, right?
Uh-huh.
They said, which one of these was the biggest bust?
Oh, I saw that and I hated it.
And it was John Wall, Markelle Fultz. Who were the other 2? Oh my god, I don't remember the other 2.
I think Ben Simmons was on there too.
Ben Simmons, and there was one other guy. And I'm blanking on it, but like every single one of those guys were or currently still are like quality NBA players. Like John Wall was on that
Yeah.
list. He was a 7-time All-Star. He started in 3 All-Star games, and we're saying he's a bust.
John Wall being on that list is disrespectful.
John Wall's one of the best defensive point guards of all time, and like
He got hurt. Like, are we calling Derrick Rose a bust?
Derrick Rose is more of a bust than John Wall. That's the take I'll die on.
I can agree with that.
He's more of a bust than John Wall.
It's still a wild take out of context, but I'll agree with that. But still,
yeah. He's more. He definitely is more of one than John Wall.
Like I hate that it has any type of weight.
It's not fun. But
it's wild, and it's not a conversation I'm gonna have. You said it. I hear you. We move on. That's it. Somebody clip this, put it on TikTok, let everybody yell at us. That's fine.
Go crazy. I don't care. But like, how are we gonna say Markelle Fultz is a bust when he was hurt? Because the Sixers were such a fractured organization when he got drafted that Jaleel,
they literally fractured his jump shot,
and Markelle all got drafted there in top 5 overall picks, and like forgot how to play the game because they didn't know how to develop anybody at the time before Joel, and they ruined them. And then he gets hurt. He goes to Orlando, and he's actually been pretty darn good for the Magic. He's not gonna be an all-star starter or anything like that, but are we calling like quality starting players busts? That's weird. That's really weird.
Again, everybody wants you to be this 12-time All-Star,
Doesn't
win
happen.
3 championships, lead the league in whatever stat you want, win awards every year. People want that out of every draft pick, and if they're not doing that and they're just being a quality player, they suck. No, that's not the case. It's just the furthest thing from the case. There's a lot that goes into it. You got to look at everybody around them. You got to look at the team. Just because they're not like at the very, very top of the league, don't mean that they're a bust. There's like how many players in the NBA? Like 400,
200 something.
200.
There's like 210 or something like that.
Okay, so like if you're 87, like come on, bro, you're fine. You're chilling.
You're fine. Yeah, it was the fourth guy was Andrew Wiggins, which is just like
yeah.
What are we talking about, bro?
Wiggins was wild too.
Wiggins was like a really
allegations.
He was like a really decent all-star-ish caliber player in Minnesota and just like had his flaws. Then he goes to Golden State, takes a lesser role, becomes an elite defender, becomes an elite like 3-and-D kind of a guy. He's like probably the best 3-and-D player in the league that's not a superstar. And it's like, and he just won a title. He was the second best player on the Warriors last year to just won a title. Like, what are we talking about?
Wiggins is a solid player. And I mean, he got drafted by Cleveland, bro. Cleveland wasn't doing much at that time.
They traded him immediately, don't forget. That boy got They brought in the white boy. Come here, Kevin. Kevin, hi, Kevin. Who's
and
also
I always wished I always wish that Wiggins stood on Cleveland, because if he had LeBron being able to teach him and stuff, completely different player. Completely different player.
Yeah. Instead he got whatever they drink in Minnesota, yeah.
Yeah, like you're not gonna develop much in Minnesota, and that's why he got to Golden State. And look, revamped his whole career.
He was really good.
Because now, however long he's with Golden State, maybe for the next like 2, 3, 4 years, goes somewhere else, still gonna be a solid player.
Yeah. Yeah, I said second best was. He was probably better than Clay last year. Not this year, but probably better than Clay last year. Jordan Poole's a bum. I want that to be known. That's a bust. That guy sucks. I don't care how many points he scores. That guy's horrible. That's a classic, like, watch the game and you'll be like, dude, this guy's detrimental. kind of a player. You know, who's like the number one guy like that comes to mind where you're like, that guy, whoa, look at his stats. Like, he's really good. It's like, he's kind of a bum. It's like, he's kind of a bum.
I know who you'll say.
Who?
Devin Booker.
Oh, certified bum. Certified bum. The worst 70
Oh
point game of
man.
the decade.
And
Devin Booker.
speaking of that, we got three 70-point games that's happened. We got Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, and Damian Lillard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you guys the stats, and you be the judge, and let us know what you guys think.
Okay.
At Spectators Media, we might even make a graphic about this.
Probably
Go
make a Twitter
comment on it.
post.
Well, we gonna do it all, you
Yeah.
know. So you let us know. So who you want me to start with? You want me to go
Start
from D
chronologically.
Book?
Go Book, Mitch,
Okay,
Dame.
so Devin Booker went 21 for 40 from the field with on 52% shooting, 4 for 11 from 3 with 36% shooting, 24 for 26 from the line with 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, and 5 turnovers. Devin Booker. Okay. Donovan Mitchell. 22 for 34 on 64% shooting from the field, 7 for 15 from 3 on 46% shooting, 20 for 25 from the line, 8 rebounds, 11 assists, no steals, a block, and 4 turnovers. Now, Damian Lillard, last night, 22 for 38 from the field on 57% shooting, 13 for 22. One more time. 13 for 22 behind the arch for 3 pointers on 59% shooting, 14 for 14 from the line, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, no steals, no blocks, and 2 turnovers. 14 free throws. Keep in mind, they all scored 70 or 71. Donovan and D Book had 20 and 24 free throws. Damian had 14. 14 on 59% shooting from 3.
He was 1-3 away from tying the all-time single game record. Obviously, this is a career record for Dame in points and for threes. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think it's even particularly close as to which is the best of the group.
No.
I mean, Dame last night, it's not going to get talked about as much as the other ones for whatever reason. For whatever reason, and I don't know why. You tell me if I'm off base about this. That Devin Booker 71-point game a couple years ago is like folklore. Like people talk about it like, where were you when Devin Booker dropped 70 points? It gets talked about like that sometimes. For like people are like, oh yeah, Devin Booker, young guy, 70-point scorer. Don't forget 70 points. Don't forget.
Well,
And it's like,
I do think him being so young at the time is cool. It's definitely dope that a young player was able to do that. Whether they lost by a whole ton of points,
not
that
single
that that
digits.
that has something to say. But it is impressive, regardless. It is impressive. And I said this before. Book had probably the best stat game of the three, just because he was filling the box score. He had 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals, and a block. So like you add that on top of being a young player, on top of scoring 70, it's impressive. It's impressive. So like all around, okay, cool. Maybe it's gonna stand the test. But you look at now 36% from 3 compared to 59. Like that's a lot. And he only made 4.
Yeah,
4 to 13. Like,
not great.
come on now.
You want to
Come
hear?
on now.
You want to hear what's really sad about that? And you guys know I'm a Devin Booker hater. This isn't new. I'll find every way I can slander him. I don't even like this stat. I think plus minus is stupid. How do you score 70, 8 boards, 6 assists, and have a -6 on your plus minus?
That's wild. That's wild.
How, Sway? How? It makes no sense.
That's wild.
You know, and I mean, again, they lost. It's whatever. It was a Celtics team that was actually pretty good. They lost to too, so it's not like
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's not like they lost to the Magic, but the Donovan one definitely is the least memorable of the group. Like 20 foul shots. I mean, it was really cool for him. Again, another young guy. It might be maybe more memorable just because like it was his like second or third week as a Cav. So he was like, "Hey guys, look at me." He was pretty bad after it, sadly. Like I wish that he like scored 70 and then like 50 the next day and like 50 the next day. It was just like, "Hey,
It was the day after New Year's too, so it was kind of cool.
yeah, yeah."
Start the new year with just a banger.
Dude, we started the new year with like a couple of bangers. He had 70 and then like the next day, like Jokic had like 46 on like 80% shooting. And then like Giannis had like a 52-point triple double. We're like, what's going on?
Yeah,
It's
we
like
we gotta
what's
stop.
it's like what's happening? The year just started to chill out. Please, please, please.
The new year, new me.
They were acting different. They were acting
Yeah.
different, certainly. Yeah, I mean, I've been getting a little bit of basketball in. It's been pretty fun. The Knicks are sadly dragging me back in, and spring training baseball is actually getting me more into the NBA because I'm like, this is cool, but this is meaningless. So let me go watch something cool. That's literally what happened yesterday. I got home from work and I was like, put on this Portland Trailblazer game, and everybody's like, okay. And then we watched Dame's like last 10 points, and I was sick. And then
Yeah.
I was like, right after, I'm like, throw on that Clippers Nuggets game too. Let's get it. And then that was a great ending to a game too. And I was like, yeah, this was nice. This was good.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Um,
this is the fun time of NBA because again, NBA is weird when it comes to regular season. The games
just
are
doesn't
just
matter, dude. It's so annoying.
they
It just doesn't
don't
matter.
they don't like watching the 82 NBA games and some obviously because you're not just watching one team.
It's more
It,
grueling to me. And I mean, I love the NBA, but
I do too.
it's more grueling to watch all these games when like clearly the teams and the players and the organizations don't care about them all than watching the 162 baseball games.
And that's what I was also about to say. I can easily watch 162 Yankee games, easy,
Mm-hmm.
and more games on top of that because we're watching just whatever games are on throughout the day and
Mm-hmm.
then shutting them all down for the
Yeah.
Yankee
And
game.
granted, we're not watching all of them. Stuff happens, but like we could easily watch
But they'll
130.
be on.
Yeah.
But they'll be on. But I can easily sit down and watch as if I'm like obviously not working and stuff. But sit down and watch 162 Yankee games. Easy. But when it comes to like NBA, it's tough.
I don't even know why. It's just
I
I
don't
think it's
either.
just I think it's just level of care. I think it's all the
Yeah.
effort. We spoke about it a little bit. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, where it was just like the only thing that matters is the championship. So like,
Yeah.
why should I care about the regular season when nobody else does? You know,
Yeah, it's weird. I don't
I
know.
would love it to matter more, but they don't care. So whatever.
The
Also,
it
part of it too,
seating.
like the one seed in the East every year always sucks.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they get in, you're like, that team's not actually that good.
Well, that's also the thing with like the play-in tournament now. Like when you got damn near the whole league making
There's,
the
dude, the
playoffs.
Wizards are gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah, so why
The
should you?
Wizards are
Like
horrible. The Bulls might make the playoffs, and what's gonna happen? Here's the script. The Bulls are gonna make the 10 seed. They'll win both play-in games, and then they'll get their doors ripped off by Milwaukee or whoever they wind up playing in the first actual
yeah.
round. And then the Bulls would be like, oh, but we won those play-in games, so let's make one more move and try and be successful. Then they'll go out and get another mid-level star and win 34 games by this point next year instead of 28. And it's like, woohoo, guys, awesome. You did it. You're still not contenders. It's like, bro, like,
Yeah. And then especially when you got 20 teams that are making the playoffs. I count the play-in as playoffs cuz
there's
you
something to
lose,
play
you're
for.
gone. You
Yeah.
Yeah, so I consider them playoffs, just wild card round,
Yeah.
whatever. So you got 20 out of 30 teams making the playoffs. Why try all season? Why? Be good enough to get to the play-in game if you're not just a top levels team. Be good enough for that. And you're going to live a happy ending. Probably not. You're going to get
Yeah.
smacked, but
Yeah.
you'll enjoy yourself. And that's what it comes down to and it sucks. I don't know how the NBA could fix that.
I think
I
taking it
really
out.
don't.
When the play-in happened, I thought it was a decent idea. I hate it now. I hate it now. I think it makes the regular
I
season useless. I think the games aren't exciting. Like those games are exciting, but there's no like how many times in NBA history has a one seed lost to an eight? Twice, maybe.
um,
How many times has
Yeah.
a 7 seed beaten a 2? Like 5 times ever, maybe. But now that 8 seed and that 7 seed aren't even 7 and 8 seeds anymore. They might be a 9 or a 10. They're not beating the Celtics in a 7-game series.
No, you're not getting a Cinderella like that. That's gonna do it. Like it's cool for one game. You can make magic happen in one game. You're not making magic happen in a
If
7-game
if the
series. Like
NBA
a
playoffs
legitimate NBA team. You're not doing it. You're
if
just not.
if the NBA playoffs were like March Madness, this would work. But
Yeah.
it's not. How I mean, what was the biggest problem in the mid 2010s with the NBA? It was the Warriors and the Cavs lock it every year for the finals. Why? Because they were the better teams. The better teams 9 times out of 10 win a series. It's just how
No.
it goes. And so like why are you putting these teams that are clearly not better in?
And this is me live on air, like realizing that the play-in is just not
Not
it.
it.
Because I've been the same way. Like
You've been a
I
play-in guy. You've liked the play-in for the most part.
because it's cool. You give more teams a chance to do something. You get a couple
What are
of
we
exciting
doing, though?
games now.
What are we doing?
But exactly, like looking at the bigger picture now, it sucks. It sucks because that is a reason why teams just
Regular
aren't
season.
playing because they feel comfortable. They feel comfortable. They feel like we have a solid chance at making the play-in. Because we're not a 1 through 6 seed. We're not that Celtic Nugget type team. We got enough to get by. Okay, cool. Let's get in the play-in, and then maybe we have a chance. You don't, but maybe we got a chance.
And,
So now you're going on pipe dreams all season to drive you to make the play-in game. Be better. Make the playoffs. So I'm really not here for it.
And one of the big issues too is like, say it happens. Say, let's just put it out there. The Wizards win their play-in, right? They're the 10th seed. They win their play-in. They win their second play-in. Now they're the 8th seed. Woohoo! Good job. You guys did great. Now
Congrats.
you play Boston.
Awesome.
Right? They beat Boston. How many games? Probably 6 or 7. If they beat a seed like that, it's not 4. I'll tell you that right now. It's not 4. So it's 6 or 7 games. So we'll just say 7, just for argument's sake. Now they get to go in and play the 76ers. It's like after just 2 elimination games, then you had a 7-game series. Now you got to go play the 3rd best team in the conference.
And let's even say you make it past that. Like what? Now you got the Bucks. Like, come on now. Come on.
Like,
I don't like that. I don't like any of that.
And so if all that happens and you make the finals, and I'm going to assume, again, it's strong assumptions, but every upset they do takes the max amount of games. You're at 23 high pressure games before the finals even start.
And now you got to
23.
potentially go up against Jokic or Ja or like, come on now.
I don't know, dude. It doesn't happen. It genuinely doesn't happen. When's the last time a 7 seed went to the finals?
I don't know. Why are you looking that up? It's a cool concept. When it came in, very cool concept. You tried it. It's okay for things not to work. It's very okay for things not to work.
It just didn't work.
Let it run its course. Take it out next season. Take it out. Because I don't really see it benefiting the league. Like, yeah, you get a couple of, again, high intensity games for TV, and maybe you get 2 home play-in games for a franchise. Cool. Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
There has never been an 8 seed to win an NBA Finals. There's been 1 8 seed ever to reach the NBA Finals, and it was the 99 New York Knicks. It was a shortened season that year, and it went 25-25, and they made a run. That was the Sprewell Allen Houston team. I remember that a little bit. I was like 3. Okay, so I remember it a little bit. I know we went to a playoff game that year when I was a kid, so shout out. We beat the Raptors. It was awesome. The lowest seed to ever win an NBA Finals is the number 6 seed Houston Rockets in 95.
Damn.
You know who was on? It's like, who was on that Rockets team?
That's Hakeem and boys.
Olajuwon. It took the
Yeah.
best center of all time.
And what's the highest to just or lowest to make it to the finals?
It
Do
was
you
that.
got that?
It was the 8 seed Knicks. 8 seed Knicks. And they were the only 8 seed to ever make it.
Well, actually, yeah. What's the Do you have any higher ones than that?
Not
Or
off,
does
not off the,
okay?
not off the dome.
Don't
No.
don't matter then.
Yeah.
Don't matter then. But yeah, I mean that just goes to show you it's not happening.
Yeah. It
It's
doesn't
not
matter.
happening anytime soon. Because the top tier talent in the NBA is too good. It's that simple. It's too good.
It's too good, man.
If everybody is healthy on the Celtics, they're a juggernaut. Bucks, juggernaut. Sixers, juggernaut. Nuggets, Grizzlies. I mean, shit, even the Kings right now, they're balling.
Yeah.
They're balling. Like Clippers, Warriors, obviously. Like there's more teams than that. But if they're healthy with no injuries in the playoffs, you're not beating them.
Yeah.
You're not.
I have I don't know if this is what you were asking particularly, but the 8 seed has beaten the 1 seed, so just advanced a singular round 5 times. 5 times in the league's history. And there was the Nuggets in 94, the Knicks in 99. Again, they went to the final. The We Believe Warriors, shout out, in 2007.
Okay.
The Memphis Grizzlies in 2011. That was the Zach Randolph Grizzlies and the Gasol one. They were really good. They almost won the next series also. They would have been really sick. The 76ers did it to the Derrick Rose Bulls.
That's when he got hurt, though,
Not the
right?
not to slander Derrick Rose twice in one episode, but he did get hurt.
We love Derrick.
We
love him.
Yeah, we do.
But that was tough. Again, not healthy. So you got a chance, but at that point, you only had one guy on your team that was a star.
And at that
You can have three at this point.
Yeah, at that point you only needed really one, and that's not really fair either. Luol Deng was really good. They had a young Jimmy Butler. Who was the
but I mean
like
star. Like you can have great players around you, but everybody had somebody. Now you got a few guys that are him. So you better hope.
I really love that the Bucks are like not really that. Like they got
you got Giannis and you got Drew and Chris.
And they're good.
And Brook Lopez.
They're very good players, but they're not like they're guys that in 25 years you'll look at the Bucks roster and your 11-year-old son would be like, Dad, this team sucked. And you're just like, no, it's not. No, they weren't, son.
No.
That was the best defensive team in the league for half a decade. No, they were not. Yeah, you're gonna get on him real quick. But
yeah.
It's fun looking back in hindsight, definitely. But no, that Bulls team was good.
Also, we haven't talked about it, but the Bucks are on a 14-game win streak.
They are on a 14-game win streak. They are balling. And Giannis has not even been his best form during that. So
yeah. So let's make note of that for the one time. Nick's on a 5. Nick's on a 5 bean right now.
Knicks are on a 5 bean. They are on a 5.
Shout out.
I'm telling you, they've been roping me back a little bit.
Is that the second?
Is
that the second biggest streak? Oh, we got the Spurs.
I was about to
feeling
say
they're feeling dangerous on a 16 losing streak. 16-game losing streak.
Shout out to the Spurs who know how to tank, because I just mentioned how bad the Rockets are this year, and I stand by that. The Spurs are significantly better than the Rockets, and they are so much better at tanking. If you put them together right now in a game and said, you need to win this or your organization gets launched to the sun, Spurs win by 25. No, if you say tank better, the Spurs are one game or half a game up. The Spurs might get them more ping pong balls by the end of the season, and that's hilarious. That's part of what makes the Rockets so bad. They've won some games that they've had no business winning, and it's really funny.
They keep it close enough on the record board. They're like, oh, they're doing good. Okay, let's.
Dude, Jalen Green will
get
decide
it.
to throw up 37 shots one day and actually shoot 50% that day because he doesn't do that very often. and it's like, oh, we won. Nice.
Cool.
I don't know why I like making fun of them for it. I think it's because like I genuinely dislike a lot of their draft picks recently. I hate Jalen Green. I hate Jabari Smith. Like I hate KPJ. Sengun's sick
I
though.
I have a bad habit of like if you're a bad team, I just don't care. I don't look at you.
That's fair. You know, I remember we
I
were talking
just
about the
don't
empty
look at
stats
you.
earlier. Jalen Green, empty stat merchant. Oh my goodness. He's going 21 and like 4 or 5 this year. He might be 22. It's like 21 or 22, 4 and 4. And you're like, "Oh, that's a pretty good player. That's like fringe all-star level caliber player, right?" Like you take one more significant step, you're probably an all-star. No, that dude sucks. He's like the least efficient guy I've ever seen play basketball. He takes like the worst shots. He's a shooting guard that pretends he's a point, can't dribble, can't create. I'm going in on you. Jalen, you're young, be better.
Hey
Like,
yo.
learn. Stop, bro. What? What? No shot. I just got done so dirty.
It's so dirty.
That's crazy.
But he's doing all his fans dirty, so it's okay. Shout out JJ.
Oh, there. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man. That's gonna do it for today. We can end on some slander. I can get down to that. Everybody, if you aren't already, make sure you follow us at Spectators Media on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. If you haven't subbed to our new YouTube, where this podcast is gonna be posted, go to YouTube, sub. Because that's where every single podcast episode is going to be. It is isolated from the rest of our videos now. That is strictly for scrolling's convenience, and that'll just make life easier. So there's not 100 podcast episodes in between your favorite hype videos. It's just better that way, you know? So make sure you go sub there. We'll be back again next Monday. Episode 177 is on the way. We'll have more baseball, more basketball. I'm
we
bricked.
we do got something spicy coming up too. We got our next event in the works. So if you guys haven't heard or haven't seen what happened at our last event, we got the video up on our Spectators Media IG page. We'll be on YouTube shortly also. So go check that out and be on the lookout for some details because it's coming. That's it.
That's all. Everybody have a great rest of your week. Enjoy it, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.